Okay, today we are going to learn the layer style and the filters. So when you have this, which I've put it here in the high postcard. So you turn on your Photoshop, you go through your browse in Bridge. It is in big file, high postcard layers. So that is the end project. So I'm going to open this one. Hold down your shift key and click this one. And open with Photoshop CC. There's another one, is the elements. I have those two. And then, as we all know, if we want to see both images in Photoshop, we need to go to Window, goes to Arrange, goes to 2 up vertical. Then I'm going to make a postcard. Now I'm going to File, New. The size I'm going to make is 5 by 7. So since I'm not going to send to print, normally is 300 pixel per inch, which goes to the professional printer. So I'm going to print it at home by using my home printer, which I just set to 150. That's good enough. So instead of CMYK, I choose RGB because that is going for the home printer. And I set to white, and you can also choose transparent, up to you. I'm going to give a name called Hawaii Postcard. Okay. So I got 3 documents. Now I need 3 up vertical. Okay. Then I'm clicking this high postcard elements. So first I want to select this pineapple and put as on the background as a first layer. Just drag it, put it here. So later on I'm going to rearrange the position. The second one I want to do is this postage. Click this and make sure when you use your move tool, if you want Photoshop to help you to determine which layer you want, you need to choose this auto select. See, if I turn off this auto select, you need to manually choose if you want to on the flower layer or if you want to on the pineapple copy layer. So because now if you don't have this auto select, when you click, they wouldn't change the layers. If I choose the auto select, when you click, it's going to change. Look, my layer panel is going to change, determine which object you want to be choose. Right now I want this postage. Just drag and put in here. Then I need a flower. Drag and put it here. Now I don't need this. I just close. Here I need to reposition this pineapple. Feel this is better. Flower, I want this. And the Command T is for the rotate free transform. Command T is the rotation for the free transform. And you can drag this to make it big. And I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to move this by using the selection tool. Command T again, I'm going to tilt it. Going to make it this a little smaller. Double click it. And now I need to put this pineapple, this same, on top of everything else. So I'm going to select this picture, make sure this one is active, and hold down your Shift key. Hold down Shift key, they will help us to move this image right in the middle. When I release, it's right in the middle. Or there is another way, you see, Command A is for select everything, select all the objects in this layer, and you hold down your Shift key and release right in the middle. Now all the elements is on my postcard. I don't need this beach scene anymore. I just check this. Now I want to change this layer to be behind the postage. So I can, first of all, I need to name this. I just name this beach and activate this layer and drag, put underneath the postage. And now it's a Command T and hold down your Shift key. This way will help us to rotate like certain degree, like 15, 25, 45. And now I like this, rotate. I want to rotate a little bit more. Without the Shift key, I rotate. And I put this flower right there. Okay. Now I want to add a stroke on this beach scene, which I can do two ways. We can do one way, you select this layer and double click it. You open layer style. Layer style is help us to create a lot of different effects. For instance, you move this around here. I said I want to add a stroke. Click that. On your right hand part, the stroke option is up here. You can change the size and you can change the color. I want a white. And you can change the opacity. If you don't want this stroke to be too harsh, you can change that as well. And you can even change the position. Sometimes, for now, I like the outside, inside. Sometimes you want the center. Sometimes you want the outside. Up to you. So I choose inside this time. And the color, of course, you can change. See, you can change from here if you want the red, if you want like any color by using your eyedropper tool to click it. Now I just change to white. If you want some kind of shadow, which you can do as well, like inner shadow, inner glow, by just clicking this outer glow, and I choose the drop shadow is the last one. So I'm going to change the distance a little bit. Okay, they add kind of like a three-dimensional. Looks like this picture is a kind of have on top of the pineapple and has a little bit distance, which I like this. And next, I need to make this postage a little bit not too harsh, which we are going to use the one we talked about last week, which is opacity. So you find your layers panel and change this opacity from here. Okay. Oh, there is another way. I said if the layer style, the filter you don't want to find from the layer style, you can always go to filter and find from here. There are blur, blur gallery, and a lot of options from here. Style. After this, I feel like this flower can be a little bit bigger. So it's a Command T to do that. And for the pineapple, I'm going to use another knowledge we learned last week. Going to use this, play around in this normal and multiple thing. So I'm going to First, change this name is a pineapple, and then hold down your mouse key and see duplicate a layer. You can see pineapple layer copy, which is fine. And here I'm going to, instead of normal, I'm just going to do the overlay. Overlay will help the darker part more dark and the bright part more bright. So I like this result better than just using the normal. So I can turn off this, and you can see if without this duplicate layer, the pineapple is not as bright as the one we added. The next one, I want to add an object, a flower object on here, so which I'm going to choose. Instead of open this, as traditional what we do is a copy and paste, I just drag and put it here. So this, notice there is something different. This one is called object layer. The difference with this, you can see if I want to do some edit. So I say, okay, I want to cut something here. If it's a regular layer, if I choose the pineapple, I say cut, no problem. But if you are on the object layer, if you do this, you got this dialog and said, no, you cannot do this directly editable, because this one is kind of a linking file. Basically, you have to access this file and cut it here and then save it, and then they will automatically put it here. People say why you want to use this object instead of using the rasterized image, because this one will help me to keep the quality. So let me make example. If I'm doing open with Photoshop CC, I do arrange to up vertical. I put this by using the traditional way we're doing. We put it here. Okay, notice those two layers different. This one is a smart object. This one is a regular layer. So you can see from your layer panel, this one has a little icon here. Smart object has a little icon here. This one doesn't. Okay, I'm going to shrink both. First, I'm going to shrink this regular. So let me turn off, get rid of this. I'm going to shrink this layer by hold down the shift key. I'm going to shrink this really small. The same thing, I'm going to click this smart object, click it. I'm going to shrink this guy small. Okay, they are going to be the same size. I'm just going to let you see why I need to use a smart object. What's the benefit? I'm going to close these eyes so you can see better. Now I feel I'm regret. I want this to become bigger. Okay, now I Command T, I'm going to enlarge this. Double click it, and I'm going to enlarge this regular. If on your monitor, you probably can see better. I zoom in. You can see the one smart object is keep the quality. It's very clear, but the regular layer, because we shrink it smaller and now we force it to enlarge it and lose the quality, it becomes blurry. That's the reason we need to use the smart object to keep the quality. That's the benefit to use it. Okay, now we don't need this. I just want to give you example to see the best. Command 0 is fit everything in the window. Going to turn on this. Going to put this smart object here. And now I'm going to add some hue and saturation to change some colors. I need to move this picture a little bit here. And hue and saturation. Before I do that, I want to add a background. Just click this padlock, unlock this. I'm going to name this background, enter. I'm going to set the background is white and the foreground is blue. I'm going to go to the filter. Go to the filter and render and clouds. Yeah, so this will add a cloudy background for me. After this, I want to come to this flower layer. I want to add some hue and saturation here. I like this right now, this flower result, but look what happened is because this hue saturation, my pineapple and other layers which underneath is changed as well, which I don't like it. So I only want the flower to have this hue and saturation effect. I don't want the rest of the layer has that. It's easy. You can just come to here, has this hue and saturation, and do this. We see create a clipping mask. Notice on your layer panel, it has this little anchor thing. It tells you this effect, only effect for the layer underneath. Just this layer, just a flower layer right underneath this hue and saturation layer. It's not going to affect the rest of the layers, which I think is a better solution for this. Now I'm thinking I need to add some text. New layer. Going to use our type tool. Type tool is helping us to type something on here. I'm going to see, instead of typing tool, I'm thinking to use a horizontal type mask tool. Let's see. H. H-A-W. Okay. I created this. When you exit this, looks like is a select some area for you. Going to move this. Hold down your shift and arrow key to move this selection and create a text selection for you. I'm going to move this to the position I like. And then I'm going to use a gradient tool, which is hiding underneath your pen pocket tool. going to create a new layer. It's called grading text. Going to choose if you want to change color here, you can just simple click this one underneath, change color, double click it, orange. Going to use this white, which is fine. I'm going to just hold down my shift key and draw a thing here. And now I need to add some stroke and shadow here. Just double click and access your layer style as you drop shadow and adding stroke. Instead of inside, I need this to be outside, and I think need some color, light greenish color, 5 to like this result better. I'm going to change this distance on the angle. And then by deselect is a Command D. Now you can deselect this. Notice on this layer, the gradient text, we have FX. That means this one has a layer effect, FX. Okay. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to have this, going to click using the normal text tool. I'm going to change this to 18. Going to see the word island. Then use this to move this here. I'm going to change the color. To green. Oh, I can use my eyedropper and click that. Click the grass green. Doesn't show that much, so I need to change to really bright. Okay. The sharp is good, so I just want to double check it. Okay, everything's good. So now I want to apply the same effect. You can just click this and hold down your option and put it here. So right now, this one, the island's paradise, let me spell it, paradise, have the same effect as layer effect as high. That's it about this tutorial. Is pretty much we learned the layer style, we learned the gradient tool, and we learned the smart object, and we learned how to use the overlay and different blend mode on the layer panels.